Thank you for the opportunity to speak about EVSC Early College. I can't remember when we might have been here before or in the past, but Early College was created in 2010, and we are not today what we were back then. We were so excited when we first were able to have the first dual credits made, and we were averaging about 30 to 35 credits. It'll get better. The slide just is a little light. This is our current class of 9th through 12th graders. Male-female ratio. The first one's male, the second one's female. First generation. Early colleges are designed for first generation students to get them to college. We are consistently at 60 or between 60 and 80%. And then the last one is 21st century scholars, which is always pretty consistent as well, with about 50% of our students. This one we thought was interesting through the years of where we get our students from. Our current senior class, as you can tell, is a pretty good mixture. And it just depends year to year, conversation to conversation, which kids and from where choose early college. We occasionally get calls about homeschool students if they can participate, and then we cycle those students through Virtual Academy. We do have and have had in the past AIS students, but an AIS student went back this year to AIS. So, but we've had in the past a graduate from AIS every year, AIS First Avenue. Some quick stats. In order to be and continue to be in early college, you have to be endorsed through the Center for Educational Learning and Leadership. Last year, we were re-endorsed. It is about a 380-page portfolio we had to put together. Standing to my left is Merrill Punke. He is the Social Studies Department, as well as the principal designee when I'm not here. We spent several months putting that together. I try to get an idea, and part of the questions that they ask in the portfolio is where we save money for kids and that sort of thing. And if we look at the current students that we have in population right now, if they take the classes they are taking right now, the dual credits they're taking right now, if we look at the tuition costs that they're saving, they're probably saving their parents about $296,000 just right now in tuition costs. It's hard to gauge, but from 2013 to today, I would estimate anywhere between $600,000 to $800,000 and maybe even $1 million saved in tuition costs through early college for the parents and for the kids. It's hard to determine because through the years we've added dual credits, and I'll show you that in just a second. But right now we have 159 students, 9 through 12. 55 of our students, the juniors and seniors, are on campus full-time. They're taking approximately 180 Ivy Tech taught courses this semester. It'll probably be similar or higher next semester, probably around 200 to 210 Ivy Tech taught courses. We estimate about 8,000 credits have been earned since 2013. And one really interesting fact that at our last principal meeting, they gave us this thing. 100% of our 10th grade students are current 11th grade scored above the national RT average, or RIT score average on the NWA ELA. I saw that statistic, I'm like, that's pretty awesome. And consistently, if you look at our scores, we might have a group come in at 65%, that in their sophomore year would be at 86 or 87%. The correlation shows that what we are doing in the freshman year, as those kids come in and take that test, or the NWA, the incoming freshmen, who we haven't had yet, but once we get them, by the time the spring rolls around and the next fall, they are making unbelievable changes in their reading ability and in their math. This is a quick look at what we have to offer. Everything in the green-ish color. Does it look green to everybody else? It looks green. Okay, good. It is taught by an EVSC teacher, which means it is free to our students. So if you look to just those are on what's called the Transfer Gen Ed Core, and most of those classes also go towards the associate's degree. We, through the EVSC, offer over 58 college credits for free. We're actually looking at adding one more class, so we'll be at about 61 college credits for free through our EVSC teachers. To get a general transfer ed core, you need to have 30 hours. An associate's degree is 60 hours. So we can pretty much provide an associate's degree to our students, a general studies one, for free. But my students are actually throwing me for a loop this year because it has exponentially made my job a lot more difficult, but given our kids a lot more to strive for. Since 2013, we've conferred 82 associate's degrees and 102 transfer gen ed course. What the transfer gen ed core is, it's 30 hours that can transfer to any state university and some private universities across the state. That's the core, your math, your science, your social studies, your English. What's throwing me for a loop is if you look, most of those have been general studies. Our kids aren't happy with that anymore, and which is fine with me, but a lot more challenging. We still have, under the current seniors, 22 associate's degrees. That's what the AGS is. The one that's next is a cybersecurity degree. And that student, actually, if you look at Ivy Tech's website, the average going pay for this student when he graduates with this associate's degree this year is $42 an hour. Pretty impressive for an 18-year-old walking out of high school. We have 3 students that are taking the associate's degree of psychology. It will transfer into another school like USI or anyone that might have a psychology program. Again, all of our students pretty much get the core transfer degree. The 5 in parentheses, those students did not get the associate's degree because they either came to us late or it took them a while to pass the AccuPlacer. But all of our students graduating this year will graduate with some sort of certificate. Those 5 just will graduate with core transfer. Everybody else will have an associate's degree. The 2 at the bottom, that is the Global Study Certificate. That's something brand new this year. It actually is a certificate that identifies these kids are kind of culturally adept. Juniors, same thing. The AAS and AART is advanced. Let me get this right. Help me, Chris. Advanced Automation Robotics Technology. So those are going to be people who design the robots for any type of business, any type of manufacturing. We have 3 that are doing the software development, 1 with visual communications, and then the rest are going to repeat. It has, I say it exponentially, made my life a little more difficult because I have to now learn all of these degrees and try to figure out where they plug in. But I couldn't be happier with their decisions they're making to make them be able to get just about any degree that Ivy Tech can offer, except for maybe nursing or things that require them to be 18 years old. But they are outperforming even my wildest dreams. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Punky to talk about our community involvement and National History Day because they're doing absolutely unbelievable things there as well. And then I will open it up to questions after that.
Thank you for letting me come to speak today. And thank you to Ms. McNamara for inviting me to come along. This is one of my favorite things I ever get to do, which is to brag about my students. I have to say I work with some of the most amazing young men and women that the city has to offer. And as you can see from the picture right here, this is one of our distinguished students. This is Kenan Bender. He is a junior with us this year. Last year, through the National History Day program, he did a project on the 1945 Evansville bingo riots, which just goes to show how passionate our city is, especially if you try to take away their bingo, they will fight you for it, right? And yes, that actually happened just a few blocks from here, and they were old people flipping over police cars. We have photographic evidence, and there's a website right there that you can come find it on. One of the neat things that happened with Cannon is his project did so well on a national level. He was selected by the National Endowment for the Humanities, which is a congressionally funded organization, to be part of their annual Day on the Hill campaign. Now, the Day on the Hill campaign is how, when they actually go out and send students and community members to each member of Congress, both Senate and House, to lobby to continue to fund social studies and humanities education. So Cannon was selected. He was sent a packet a week beforehand, which he had to study. And then he and I trekked all over Capitol Hill for an entire day, it was 99 degrees outside and it was incredibly humid, and he had to wear a suit and I did not, because I was not the one talking to Congress people. And he got to meet with both our congressmen and all our members of the House of Representatives and talk to them about the importance of humanities and education. And that's really impressive that one of our students, not just from the early college program, but from the EVSC, was able to go and speak with our representatives and to talk to them about the importance of their education and how much they've learned here. And that's kind of the cream of the crop. We had 5 students in total that went to compete at nationals for National History Day. Those students competed by creating websites and documentaries. They did individual and group performances, as well as providing exhibits that went and competed against students not just from all 50 of the United States, but from countries and organizations across the world, including Guam, China. We beat China. I just want to point that out. It kind of makes me feel good. And Southeast Asia, Thailand, American Samoa, and South Korea. So it's become a worldwide event, and our students did exceptionally well. It was amazing to see how well they did. And those students were able to go to Washington, D.C. They competed. They were able to tour the Capitol. They went to the Holocaust Museum. They got to go meet their congressman. There's a fantastic picture of them with both their senators and one of our students sitting very uncomfortably in between them on the steps of the Capitol building. And so those are some of the things we're doing in the community on a national level. But one of the things we strive for is to ensure that education at early college doesn't end at the doors of their school. We're trying to encourage students not just to learn in the classroom, but through service learning projects. And so we have taken and partnered with a lot of the community museums, including the African American Heritage Museum, the Evansville Wartime Museum, the Evansville Museum, and the county archives to provide projects and exhibits that they can use in their museums. And so today, if you go to the Evansville Wartime Museum, you will be able to see materials that have been produced by EVSC early college students that are currently part of their permanent display. If you take the time to go to Night at the Old Courthouse, which is coming up in a few weeks, you will find examples of student work from early college programs on display to celebrate the history of the old courthouse. If you look at the African American Heritage Museum's website, they are adding information that has been researched and provided to them by early college students. And we're incredibly proud that they've done this. And even beyond providing to the local community, we have students that are going out and working with the research team at Willard Library and with the research programs at the Evansville public libraries in order to create a better understanding of their community and to create a lasting desire to be part of Evansville. And so that when they graduate from high school, they don't just take that $48 an hour job and go work in Indianapolis, that they stay here, so that they are proud of their community and that they want to be here. And so I have been incredibly blessed to be part of this program, and I really thank you guys for your time. If there's any questions at this point.